Hari Om. We are today on Mantra 5 of section 2 of chapter 3. And the stanza reads Samprapyainam Rishayo Jnanatrupta Kritatmano Vidaraga Prashanta Te Sarvagam Sarvada Prapya Dhira Yukta Atmana Sarvameva Vishanti. The brief meaning of the stanza is, having attained him, the seer, content with his knowledge, his purpose accomplished, free from all desires, and with full composure, having attained the all-pervading Atman on all sides, ever concentrated in their minds, in his mind, enter into everything. Now let us see the brief explanation to this mantra. A seeker, when he realizes the Brahman, he considers his knowledge to have been fulfilled and becomes absolutely satisfied with his knowledge which he has gained till now. There is in him a deep sense of satisfaction. All the knowledge that I have studied earlier has now come to fulfillment. Abba, that feeling of satisfaction and joy, that not an ounce of my effort has been wasted. Love's labor is not lost. Something attempted, something done, have earned a nice repose. Everything that I studied has now come a reality. That type of a feeling. And he feels that he has not wasted his efforts in vain, searching for the unperceivable, unthinkable, and ununderstandable. These were the words of fear in his mind. But he has overcome all that. He understood it in the right spirit, and he has now conquered the self. The satisfaction of having a Herculean event successfully performed. See, like in his earlier world, before he realized, pre-realization period, in that scheme of things, whenever a desire has been fulfilled, he noticed that 10 other desires were raising their hood in his mind. But that did not happen here. No more desires are coming to my mind. I entertain no more desires. I am full. I am perfect. I have known who I am. A knowledge which I was theoretically taught. And I am now experiencing my vibhuti, my glory, my eternal peace. All of them ratifying what I have intellectually absorbed earlier. Therefore, I am satisfied. I feel contented. That knowledge has now become a reality. And that state of mind in anybody, in whichever field, is known as Kritakrityata. Kritakrityata. Kritatmano Vidaraga. A condition of wantlessness or desirelessness is not born of ignorance of the external pleasures. I am not denying a desire because I don't know how that desire will be. It is not because of my ignorance of that desired object that I am saying I don't want. I know what it can give. I know its limitations. I don't want it. It doesn't matter to me. It is irrelevant to me. And I am denying it by an intelligent negation of such cheap enjoyments that the world can offer to me. That is his attitude. Now again, I am inviting you to come along with me to the Sthitaprajna portion of Bhagavad Gita. Then the very first stanza Bhagavan says, Prajahadi yada kaman sarvan parthamanogadan atmanyevatmana tushta sthita prajnastatochate. When a man, O Partha, completely casts off all his desires of the mind and is satisfied in the self by the self, then he is said to be a Sthita Prajna, a man of steady wisdom. Human intellect is ordinarily enveloped in a cloud of ignorance. The wise overcome the desires by intelligent understanding that nothing can equal in value my infinite true nature. He peeps beyond his desire-laden intellect and rediscovers his own infinite glory and revels in that flood forever. That is his condition of the mind. Now here, some critics may say, yes, that may be true. He is reveling in his mind. He says he doesn't want anything in this world. Very true. But the I don't desire anything phrase, I don't want anything or I don't desire anything, can also stem from a pathological state of a man. Is it not? When we go to a lunatic asylum, we find some people who fully accord with what is said by the Lord in the first line of the stanza. Prachahadi yada kaman sarvan partha manogadan. He sits in a corner. The ward boy comes with a morning cup of tea. He said, here's your tea. Take your tea. I don't want. And what do you want? I don't want anything. Shall I give you a bath? No. Shall I give you a fresh set of dress? You look ugly in this dress. Your dress is ugly. Would you like to change it? No, I don't want. Okay. And somebody else comes in the afternoon with the parota and rice, lunch. Here is your lunch. I don't want. He doesn't want anything. He is rejecting everything. There are people like this. This phenomena we call in psychology as what do you call that? An apathetic attitude. Called an apathetic attitude. They live in a corner, not wanting anything. Are they Sthitaprajnas? Therefore, the qualities of the first line in the stanza, Prajahadi yada kaman, is not enough. Therefore, Krishna hastened to add, even without pausing. You and I would have paused. Prajahadi yada kaman sarvan partha manogadan. Atmanyevatmana tushta. There is some pause between the first stanza, first line and the second line. Krishna never stopped. He immediately continued. Prajadi yatha kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushta. Immediately he said, without even putting a comma, that the Sthita Prajna should also positively come to enjoy the bliss of the self. Atmanyevatmana tushta. That is the true nature of positive renunciation or conscious renunciation. That should be the spirit. That is true sannyas. That is true wantlessness or desirelessness. Not desiring something out of your pathological state. Do you know the story of Swami, a saint, who had a friend of immense wealth? They also had a common friend to whom this millionaire friend of the saint, Swami, said that before I die, I want to donate all my wealth and property to the saint. Gopal, I am telling you this. Today I am telling you this. Before I die, I want to do this good act of donating all my wealth and property to that Swami. The common friend said, are you really saying this or are you kidding me? No, Gopal, I am telling you. Ramakrishna, don't bluff. I am going to go and tell this to Swami. You can tell anybody. You can declare from your housetop. But I am telling you the truth. The common friend, gushing with joy, rushed to the Swami and told him, Swamiji, shall I tell you a secret? The Swami said, come on. There is no secret for me. Swamiji, that millionaire friend of ours told me so honestly and sincerely what? That he wants to donate his entire wealth and property to you. Gopal is telling Swamiji in such a way that Gopal feels Swamiji will get a heart attack. Then Swamiji asked him, Gopal, did he say so? Did he say that he wants to donate his property to me before he dies? Did he say that? Surely. Yes, Swamiji, he said it. Then the Swami said, Gopal said, I swear, he told me that, no doubt about it. Then the Swami asked his friend, Gopal, can I ask you a question? Does the millionaire friend know that I had already died earlier than him? Right? Look at it. He wants to donate before he dies. He has not decided when, because he still has some desire to fulfill. And to whom is he giving? To a Swami who is dead to all desires. He is already died before the other man died. The donee died, the donor is still alive. Meaning, he is dead to all desires and is reveling in himself. Atmanyevatmana tushta. That is positive sannyasa or true realization. Therefore, that quality is also a qualifying factor for a Sthita Prajna. You see the clear vision of the rishis, no confusion. Absolutely clear. No roundabout method. That kind of state of mind is what provides tranquility, or what you call as prashanta, which is referred to in this mantra. Kritatmano vidaraga prashanta. The next two lines is Te sarvagam sarvada prapya dhira yukta atmana sarvameva vishanti. When the ego renounces his body, mind, intellect embodiment, he is freed from his mortal sufferings and regains his lost glory. The paradise regained by Milton. The all-pervading life force is back in him. Thereafter, his residential address is changed, and so is his status. This Maya Vilas, disturbing street and confusion town, post office, all that has now been changed to royal infinite mansion, peaceful street and tranquil state. His status also really changed. The designation also changed. He is no more the petty manager or petty factory manager or general manager. That's all petty things. He was earlier an ego-realized soul. There was a soul in him who realized the ego. But now that has been changed to a soul-realized ego. Now the ego in him has realized the soul. So what is the difference whether ego realizes the soul or soul realizes the ego? See? The ego realized the soul, that means the soul is realizing the ego, nothing great happens. The soul sees the ego suffering in a gutter and tells him, sorry, bad luck, idiot, stay there, what can I do? Continue. That is the soul who has realized the ego. Ego realized the soul. But when the soul realized ego, when ego realizes the soul, the ego will say, hey, where am I? Why should I be in this gutter? I am not fit for this. This is not what I deserve. I deserve a glorified life. You know who I am? I am not a man to be in this gutter. I own the entire world. I pervade the entire world. I am getting up. And he wakes up to his glory. That is a soul realized ego. An ego that has realized the soul. So his status is also changed. And perhaps he is now awarded with an Atma Vibhushan, not Padma Bhushan, Atma Vibhushan. Isn't it? So the next mantra is a very, very famous mantra, and is a very important one too. We will see what that is in the next one. Next class, that is tomorrow, we will see that.